Shaq was a bully. We know it. He himself has admitted being a troublemaker in several interviews. It was his father and the sport of basketball that changed him into the living legend he is today. However, you might not be knowing these 5 instances of on-court violence from Shaq that went, let's just say, ugly. 2 powerhouses on the same court always generate some heat. Shaq has always been aggressive on the court and a force to reckon with. During his career, be it Charles Barkley or Robertson, Shaq has had serious altercations on the court. Let's start with Alvin Robertson. On March 30, 1993, Bill Laimbeer from Detroit Pistons tried to bear hug Shaq in the 4th quarter, but the referee was late in calling the obvious foul. This resulted in a physical transgression as Shaq threw punches at Alvin Robertson, who appeared to be playing the peacemaker. Orlando Magic center Shaquille O'Neal was suspended for 1 game and fined $10,250 for his role in a fight with Detroit Pistons guard Alvin Robertson, the latter of whom escaped without a suspension but was fined $7,500. O'Neal's fisticuffs came amidst an NBA season filled to the brim with on-court altercations, ultimately leading the league to crack down on physical transgressions and elevate consequences for those involved. Next comes Chris Dudley, who got so angry after Shaq dunked one over him that he threw the ball at Shaq, who had turned away, running back to line up for defense. During Shaq's glorious time with the LA Lakers, Chris Dudley was an important player for the New York Knicks. In a game between the Lakers and the Knicks, Shaq made a powerful dunk over Dudley, and it appeared as if he deliberately shoved him off the court on his follow-through. Dudley didn't like what happened and threw the ball with full force at Shaq, who was retreating to his side. Before things could get out of hands, the 2 fired-up men were separated by teammates and staff. The 3rd man in the list will surprise some fans. We are talking about Charles Barkley. Shaq's co-host from inside the NBA was a fiery character himself, and naturally sparks flew when he met Shaq in a heated match between the Lakers and the Houston Rockets. Despite being outsized by a 7 feet 1 inch Shaq, 6'6" inch tall Charles Barkley didn't back down and came out fighting. In an intense moment, Shaq and Barkley were struggling for control over the ball, but Shaq's persistence seemed to annoy Barkley, who threw the ball at Shaq's head. All hell broke loose and the 2 went down grappling. They were immediately separated by teammates. Even today the Shaq and Chuck duo can be seen fighting, but now it's just for fun. Back then it was serious. In 2002, Shaq was involved in another infamous punch where he threw his hands at Chicago Bulls player Brad Miller during a play. Shaq took a big wild swing at Brad Miller and Miller's teammates pounced on Shaq. It was chaos as both teams looked tangled in a big bundle of men trying to separate the 2 players. Despite their best attempts, players and officials couldn't separate the 2 for several minutes. These were a few instances when Shaq the Giant could have severely injured if not killed an opponent on the court. If you had a great time watching these stories from the times gone by, hit the like button and subscribe to the Big Shaq Fan Club. Until next time, don't forget to shoot your shot.